Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Overtime. I'm your host, Wave Punk, and I am joined here by Josh Watson from Psionics. Dude, I heard you wrote this song?
I had a little hand in it.
A little hand in it?
Yeah,
oh, yeah. That's super cool, dude. I love the music stuff. So tell me, what do you do at Psionics? What is your involvement with Rocket League eSports?
Well, I am the head of eSports for Psionics, so pretty much anything you can imagine, I have a little part in. I work very closely with the guys at Twitch for the RLCS, and then you know, all the way down to our our events and the tournaments we run at things like a PAX or South by Southwest, down to our community guys who we really love. So I just honestly, it's everything in between.
Yeah, it's super cool to see that Rocket League's been kind of branching out to not just RLCS. And I was at PAX South, and I got to see some of the tournaments that were happening there with some of the pros who showed up and some casual people who showed up, and we were just like handing out T-shirts, and like super cool to see how Rocket League is expanding outwards. And I assume you watch RLCS.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
So, here and there.
Who are you kind of like who are you watching? What team do you follow the most?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question.
Sure.
But I watch every weekend with my son, and he is a diehard Northern Gaming fan. So yeah, I mean Rimco, Maestro, just absolutely incredible, and he's super stoked this year because what they have. They have Devo, who is an absolute monster coming off of that Mocket roster from last season. So he's really hoping they can make the run for it.
Yeah,
so.
no, you got a real fan when they're not rooting for Flipside, they're not rooting for G2. They're like, nah, I'm gonna pull for this team that's coming third place every season. But man, there's such cool dudes and such good looking dudes too, Maestro and Remco.
Some good looking guys.
Absolutely.
Very intimidating.
Absolutely. And I remember you telling me stories about your son and during season 1 how he was disappointed that he couldn't play.
Oh yeah, heartbroken. Yeah. It's in the rules. We can't have our family members play, and he was training every day.
I remember you telling me he was sitting in his computer, he was playing. He's like, oh, I can't wait to be an RLCS dad. And you're like, you can't, son. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, I got to break the heartbreaking news to him. So
man, well, so you work for Psionics, who made Rocket League, and Rocket League is a game that caters not just to the pro scene but to the casual scene. I remember I got into Rocket League because I had a group of friends that I gamed with, and I was like, I want something we can all play. And they're like, oh, there's this game called Rocket League. It seems like fun. And I probably played the game for a good 20 hours before I was like, is there a pro scene? And I was like, as an esports fan already, right? And so like, what is kind of the nature of working at Psionics where you're balancing this game where that caters to a very hardcore audience who's like, we just want one map with 3v3 forever, and people who loved is like, oh, I love Rumble and I love Snow Day and I love to play casually. Like, what's the balance there?
I think it's tough. It's tough to make sure that whatever decision we're making, we're thinking about both of those sides. Right. I wish I could tell you like the way that we do it. I think it's just a lot of conversation and trying to put ourselves in the shoes of both of those camps. And honestly, I think we try to look at the game being that it is a competitive game, even if you are, just a casual player. At its core, it's a competitive game. So just giving people the option to compete how they want to compete is really important to us. So it's really just trying to walk that line and make sure that everybody's happy with the outcome.
Yeah, and it's beautiful to see that the Snow Day update, one of the first kind of alternate modes you guys introduced, has this super hardcore fan base. So hardcore, you guys leave the playlist in year round now. And they get to play hockey whenever. And then like Rumble shows up. Rumble tournaments happened like the next week. I played in one of them and had so much fun.
Did you win?
No, we made it through the first round, and then I think we ran into Fireburner's team, and then we kind of got crushed. So that was kind of the way it went. But speaking of these modes, one of the newest modes you guys are introducing, Drop Shot here, looks super competitive. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And is there going to be like an RLCS for Drop Shot or something?
I don't know about the RLCS, but it's one of those modes where we're just kind of we think it's really, really polished. We've been iterating on it for a long time. We think it's a lot of fun. In all skill ranges. So we're actually really, really excited to see what the pros can do with it. I think we designed it with us in mind because that's all we know how to play, and I think they're going to change the game like they typically do.
Yeah, so how good are you at Drop Shot? Are you wiping the floor in the office?
Just terrible.
Just terrible.
Just so bad. But luckily, I get to just sit behind the scenes and just watch much more talented people do it better.
That is so cool. Well, hey, Josh, thank you so much for talking with us, dude. I gotta ask, who is your favorite RLCS caster, and why is his name Wavepunk?
Oh, you know, I don't know. Some guys just make bad choices with names. From Dr. Awkward himself.
From Dr. Awkward. Dude, I would love to hear the story behind that name at some point, but we are out of time at this point, and I got to let you go. But thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, man, it's so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we've had such a good time talking to Josh here. When we come back, it's going to be Gibbs versus James debating head-to-head about topics, and who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be exciting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.